in tarnation is that?
This here is Red Dead Redemption on Switch.
That's pretty dandy there. What is that, like 20 bucks?
50. Sorry about this, friend. Although Rockstar be apologizing to us. It's honestly quite fascinating that we are in a time where a lot of classic video games, or I guess by today's standard, classic video games, are being remade and remastered for the current consoles. And it kind of feels like maybe these developers are running out of ideas for new IPs, and therefore they're just re-releasing the same stuff from your past. And in some of these cases, these releases are actually worth your money. They actually make a lot of changes that are very good for the game, make it a lot better, make it more of a smooth experience. They upgrade the graphics, make it look a lot better. And in some cases, you get just a basic port that doesn't really add anything new. And that's what we have here with the Red Dead Redemption port for the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch. Now, you can play the game on the PS5 using the backwards compatible, and it may make the game look slightly better from the PS4 version. And of course, you can play the 360 version on the Series X and Series S if you do purchase the game, whether you buy it on disc somewhere that you can find it, or you pay $40 digitally, which the Xbox version is $10 cheaper than the other two we have here. But it is, from what I found from a lot of research, a lot of videos watching, it is the more inferior version of these quote unquote ports, or next gen versions, if you want to call it that.
Excuse me, sir, you need help? Mister, you alive?
Fuck, God damn it. Good heavens.
Excuse me?
I said, no, I'm not okay. Do I look like I'm okay?
You look pretty good for a corpse.
Now, I did go with the Switch version mainly because I felt that it would be pretty cool to play this game in handheld, even though I almost never play handheld, and I do have a red Nintendo Switch, so it kind of made sense to get Red Dead Redemption on a red Switch. Now, my review is not going to be very long. It is mainly to answer the question of whether or not you should buy this game, whether you get it on PlayStation or Nintendo Switch. And the quick answer is no. You should not pay $50 for this game. I only did it for the review purposes, which I'm not made of money. And I ended up making that sacrifice for you guys. And I'm sure there's been a bunch of other channels and videos telling you the same thing I'm telling you, but I wanted to give you my point of view. Now, I had seen a comment on one of my videos about this game that it was running in like 2 frames and it looks awful. That's not true. It is gonna run at 30 frames. It may dip a little bit lower, but it is gonna look pretty good compared to what we had back on the PS3 and the 360. It is going to run in 1080p if you're playing in docked, or I believe 720 in handheld, but the game's going to look good. The game's going to sound good. It's going to stay in the 30 frames and, maybe dip a little bit lower. You're not going to get 60 frames. And for me, that's okay. I would prefer if it did run 60 frames, but I don't have the greatest vision anyway. So sometimes I can't really notice whether or not it's 60 or 30 because my eyes are all messed up. But I want to emphasize that you shouldn't pay $50 for this game because it is not worth $50. And I hear a lot of people talk about how it is a good deal in the sense that it does come with Undead Nightmare. Undead Nightmare is not a very long experience. If you play Undead Nightmare, it's actually around 8 missions long. Granted, there's quite a bit you would have to do for each mission to make it seem like it's a longer experience, but it's really not. It's not that long of an experience. And I remember back in the day when playing the game, the frame rate got really, really low during certain moments. And I don't know how it measures up here. I haven't played the Undead Nightmare yet for this version. And as for the single player, I didn't get super far into the game, but I did put in maybe around close to maybe 3 or 4 hours or so, and that's all you really need to play to know what this game is going to offer. I have heard some people talk about some issues with some of the cutscenes looking a bit off or weird. I haven't noticed that on my end. In terms of bugs and glitches, nothing too crazy, nothing new. It's pretty standard. You'll see maybe a pop-in. Actually, the pop-in happens quite often here, especially when you're riding from town to town. You'll see a lot of vegetation popping in, but that's pretty normal for games now, because I guess even despite playing a game on a new current gen console like PS5 and Series X, you're still going to get a lot of pop-ins for those games anyway. So for a game that's 13 years old, I can excuse it, especially playing in handheld on Switch and then also docked for the Switch. I can forgive that. But there really hasn't been any major bugs or glitches. The only thing I really noticed was sometimes one of the NPCs that you're on a mission with, they might get in your way and they might get pushed off to the side, but nothing too crazy aside from that. Gameplay, I don't know if the controls are a little bit wonky because it's probably dated, or the fact that Nintendo has always been the worst when it comes to using the right stick for aiming. But I found the game to be a bit more challenging than I remember, because getting the aim to, line up to your enemies and get those shots that you're trying to get, it just felt a bit complicated. And even in some moments when you're trying to make the game do what you want it to do, you want to run away while you're getting shot and your horse just won't move with your button presses, or you want to take out your weapons but you are pressing the button and it's not really acting the way you want it to. It could just be user error, it could just be me having that issue, but I felt like the game was a bit more challenging than I remembered. And I don't know if that's something that was added or changed, or if it was always this challenging from back in the day. But aside from that, the game still sounds great. It's going to look decent. It's going to look as good as it can. But my biggest issue with this game is no matter how many options I have to play this game, whether it's I play in docked or I play in handheld, whether I go get it on the PlayStation and play it there, the main thought that I had while playing this game is, this is fun, but I can easily play my copy of Red Dead Redemption 2 and have so much more fun with that game. Not only is it cheaper than this port of Red Dead 1, but it does have the multiplayer if you want to play multiplayer. It looks phenomenally better. There's no comparison. It's night and day with how the game looks. The mechanics and features and graphics of the second game is just so much far superior. It blows this game completely out of the water. And if you haven't played any of the Red Dead Redemption games, if you're one of those rare cases that haven't played a single one of those games, don't even bother with this one. Play the second one. It's a prequel anyway. Play the second one. It's going to be cheaper than this one. Even when it's on sale, it can go on sale for around $20 or so. So you're going to get, it's basically a steal. You're going to get an amazing game with a pretty decent multiplayer if you want to play that. Amazing graphics, amazing performance, amazing features in the second game. I recommend buying the second game. And if you already have the second game and you've beaten it once, go back and play it for a second time. You're going to have so much more fun playing that for the second time. Not to say the Red Dead 1 is a terrible game. It's just that price tag is too high for me to recommend you buy it. But if you do get it on Switch like I did, it's not the worst experience. It actually runs better than some of the first party Nintendo games, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But it does give you the option to play Red Dead Redemption in portable, whether you want to play, in bed before you go to sleep, or you're playing while taking a shit, or you're on a road trip and someone's driving and you get to play Red Dead on the go. By all means, you can do that, and that would be worth a purchase. Just not $50, maybe $40, maybe $35-ish. That would be a much better price tag. If they lower it for a sale, which there'll be probably a winter sale, December sale, holiday sale. If it goes on sale for around the $30 range around there, by all means you should buy it, whether you get it on PlayStation or Switch. It is going to look better on PlayStation. It is going to run better on PlayStation, but it does run pretty fine on the Switch. A lot better than what we're going to get with the Metal Gear Collection. If you haven't heard about that, go look up videos, because that's been a disaster apparently. But yes, it's not worth the $50. It's really not, and I'm sorry for those who would disagree, but I don't think a lot of people would disagree with me. And I think if they put it on sale and you want to get it on Switch to play on the go, yes. But I do say that this gives me slight hope that maybe the Arkham games would run pretty well on Switch, even though Red Dead 1 came out before Arkham Knight and maybe before one of the other Arkham games, maybe Arkham City, I think. I don't remember exactly. But We may get a decent port for the Arkham games on Switch, but again, this was a much older game, and don't buy it for $50. But that's my review for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
I got me one of them Williamson boys.
I got me one of them idiots who give marshals a bad name.
Sorry about this, friend. Okay. Sorry about this, friend. Although Rockstar should be apologizing to us. Fuck, I hit my hat. Sorry about this, friend. Although Rockstar should be apologizing to us. Fuck. Sorry about this, friend. Although Rockstar should be apologizing to us. I can't get the safety off.